my name is Nyx. I'm going to try to continue playing Nancy Drew Legend of the Crystal Skull. I've been having issues with my OBS, so it might cut out. I don't know. We'll see. It's going to take me a little bit to figure out exactly where I left off, though. So, figure out what's up with the fake books. Well, these are the fake books. There's nothing inside those, though. Is there something going on with the teeth? Those fake books in the library, they pulled like levers, explore every inch of the garden. Look for anything that might help me find out what happened to the skull that used to exist.
What was that?
That was Uncle Bruno's pet iguana, Iggy. He's always in here stealing paper. He must be using it to build a nest or something. Look, I had all those books arranged so they fit perfectly in that box. Put them back in, okay? I don't have time.
I just want to look through this one book.
Go right ahead, after you put all those other books back.
Well, aren't you rude? Alright. And take that away. I don't think so. No. I feel like I am getting this wrong. That's definitely goes there. Let's try this. Watch me be doing this correctly, but in the wrong direction. And what I mean, flip it all this way. Make it almost like stepping stools. This doesn't look right. Nope. Something's coming along. I don't know if this is correct or not. But I feel like it is. Yay! Okay. Can I take the number? Usually we need those numbers. Okay. I clicked too far to the right. Can't believe you. Sorry, I'm trying to make sure that everything's still working right. Because when that happens, my OBS decides it does not want to show anymore. Okay, it looks like everything's still working, so we're good. Let's back to that bookcase. This is probably going to be a shorter stream as well.
Yes?
How did Bruno die, if you don't mind my asking?
Just dropped dead in the front hallway. I mean, the guy
Maybe
was
about an
95
hour.
years old. Here, check it out. Myocardial infarction. That's doctor speak for heart attack.
Attending physician Dr. Gilbert Buford, 504-555-9970. Was that Bruno's doctor?
And his best friend, or so I'm told. I've never met him.
Interesting keychain.
That's one of Uncle Bruno's glass eyes. It's the one he was wearing when he died.
How nice.
Anything else?
I have like 4 of those.
I'm going to keep looking around.
Awesome.
I wonder if he's still on hold. You know one thing? Oh, I got 2 more people I can call. One thing we didn't do is try to call a cab. Where would the cab take us?
Due to current weather and road conditions, cab service to the greater New Orleans area has been temporarily suspended. We regret being unable to serve you at this time.
Then why even have it as an option? Wish you could do stuff while you
Yes,
wait on
hello?
the for
Hi,
somebody
my
to
name's
answer.
Nancy Drew. Is this Professor Hotchkiss?
I am she, Nancy Drew. Your name has a ring to it. Do I know you?
Yes, as a matter of fact, we met a little while back in Wisconsin.
Oh, yes. You were the delightful young lady doling out the samples in the tasting room of that cheese factory. Yum, yum.
No, I met you at Whitford Castle.
That's ridiculous. There was no cheese tasting room at Wickford Castle.
No, we were both guests there. I found a journal written by Marie Antoinette, which you translated. Remember?
Thanks to you, suddenly all I can think about is how wonderful a nice big slab of Colby cheese would taste right now. Listen, Mandy, I'm on a deadline, so if you could please
Mandy?
just tell me why you called.
But my name isn't...
Deadline! Let's cut to the chase, shall we? Chop, chop.
Did a man from New Orleans named Bruno Bollet ever call you?
Ah, now there's a name you can remember. Bollet. Nice and French. I'm a scholar of French history, you know.
Yes, I know. So did Bruno Bollet call you?
Indeed he did. Oui, oui.
Alright,
Why did he
why?
call, if you don't mind my asking?
Because he had read my book, of course. The Crystal Skulls. Fact or fable, one of my best efforts. Sold like hotcakes, smothered in a rich, tangy lemon sauce.
Did he say anything about owning one of the skulls himself?
I would have hung up on him straight away if he had. I tell you, Brandy, if I had $1 for every crack
Now, Brandy.
claiming to own one of those skulls,
I guess
I'd be able to
at
dine
least
at
she's
the Russian
keeping an
Tea
N
Room
in there.
every evening for the rest of my life. All right, that's a bit of hyperbole, but you get the picture. No. If memory serves, we wanted to know if I had learned any more about it since my book was published, which I hadn't, or if I had any theory as to what happened to it, which I didn't.
And that was the extent of your conversation?
Well, now, let me think. My, such insatiable curiosity, Nellie. You remind me of
Never
someone
mind.
I encountered on one of my journeys.
Well, it
But
does
for
have
the
an
life
N
of
in
me,
it.
I cannot remember her name or the circumstances.
Nancy Drew? Wickford Castle?
Ah, the eyes have it.
I'm sorry?
That's what Bruno Bolet said when I turned the tables and asked him if he had any idea where the Whisperer was. He said, the eyes have it. Then he chuckled
Eyes
and
have
hung
it?
up.
How much would a crystal skull like the Whisperer be worth?
In this crazy day and age,
Oh, there's so
where the
much
short
to
hair and
ask.
used tissues of celebrities get sold for thousands of dollars, there's absolutely no telling, Candy. $500,000 easily. Maybe even $1 million. Maybe 2. Maybe 10. The sky's the limit. Cha-ching, cha-ching.
If someone found a skull made of crystal, how could they be sure it's one of the crystal skulls?
Wonderful question, Francie. How indeed? Because there are sure to be thousands of fakes out there. Perhaps tens of thousands. But remember, the real skulls were made long before the tools commonly used for carving today were invented. Which means, let's put on our thinking caps.
If tests show that a skull is only a couple of 100 years old, then it's a fake?
Ah, would that crystal contained carbon? Because if it did, carbon dating could be used to determine its age, much like carbon dating is employed to determine the age of bones and religious
So we gotta
relics.
get a carbon
But
tester?
what is crystal? Quartz. What is quartz? Silicon dioxide. No carbon. No carbon, no carbon dating. No, to determine a crystal skull's authenticity, you must examine it for marks left behind by modern-day tools. Mind you, the marks on a good fake would be microscopic and thus imperceptible to the human eye. However, any thorough laboratory analysis would quickly unmask a counterfeit.
So the only way to prove that a skull is the real deal is by proving it's not a fake?
And by examining its provenance, its history of ownership. If it can be shown that a particular specimen has been passed along from antiquity into modern times and didn't just suddenly appear in,
This
say,
is
Germany in
a
the
lot.
mid-19th century, that would tend to support its authenticity as well.
The idea that the Whisperer can make its owner immortal, do you believe that?
I believe that things that defy any so-called rational explanations happen all the time, Nessie. Now, does that mean there are mysterious external forces at work in the
At least
universe
we're almost
which
done
do not
with talking
and
to her,
cannot
and
ever
then we'll
have
talk to
full knowledge?
Dr. Gilbert, and
Or
we'll
does
get
it all
back to
boil
solving
down to
mysteries.
us? If the
Or
human heart
puzzles.
desperately wants something to be true, does the human mind have the power to make it true? Who knows? Oh, questions, questions, questions. Oh, how dreary life would be without them.
In your book, you said that all the people who've ever owned the Whisperer were murdered, yet Bruno Bolet dropped dead of a heart attack.
Are you saying the Whisperer was in his possession after all? The scallywag! Why didn't he tell me that? Oh, that's right, I would have hung up on him. Well, if that's the case, then I strongly suggest you take a close look at his so-called heart attack, Sandy. Because if he owned the skull and he died, I guarantee you it was at the hands of someone else. Or my name's not Beatrice Gertrude Winifred Hotchkiss.
I'd better go. Thank you.
Rock and roll!
Who ends the phone call with rock and roll these days?
This is
Well,
Dr.
this was
Gilbert
made in
Buford's
2005,
answering
so
service.
that makes
How may
sense.
I help you?
I need to talk to Dr. Buford. Could you maybe give me a number where I can reach him?
No, ma'am, I cannot. Is this an emergency?
Sort of. I mean, it's not a medical emergency. See, I'm only going to be in town for a short time, and Dr. Buford and I have this mutual friend who died recently, and I just really need to talk to him about it.
Need some consoling, huh?
Yes, I need some consoling. That's it exactly.
Well, tell you what. It's against the rules to give you his phone number, but I can tell you that now that he's all but retired, Dr. Buford spends most of his evenings at his favorite gumbo stand down in the French quarter.
That makes
If
a
you
lot more
really need to
sense.
talk to him, you can probably find him there.
Great. Do you know the address?
It's at the corner of Rampart and Domain.
Did you say Rampart and Domain?
I did indeed. Granny Pumpkin's Cajun cooking. They make some darn fine gumbo.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
You're welcome, and I'm truly sorry about your loss.
My loss?
That mutual friend of yours and Dr. Buford's?
Oh, right. Thank you. That's very kind of you. Bye.
Alright, so I guess I gotta go be with Bess and go find Dr. Buford. If Bess will answer.
Hello?
Hi, Bess. It's me.
So what's been happening? Tell me everything.
Well, let's see. Since the last time we talked, I was just about getting ready to...
Alright.
Interesting stuff.
But the reason I called is I need you to talk to this doctor named Gilbert Buford.
I'm guessing
who,
that's
as it turns
him.
out, likes to hang out at a gumbo stand called Granny Pumpkin's Cajun Cookin', which should be right across from our hotel.
You just want me to talk to him? That's it? Nothing nefarious? No black ops stuff?
He was Bruno Bellay's doctor, and apparently his best friend, too. I just need for you to see if he thinks there was anything weird about the way Bruno died.
What do you mean by weird?
I mean, I kind of think maybe Bruno was murdered.
Murdered? By whom?
That's what I'm trying to figure out. Everyone's a suspect at this point.
Including this Gilbert Buford guy?
Well,
Great, I'm gonna be chatting up Jack the Ripper.
oh, I'm sure the guy's fine, but be subtle, just in case.
Well, I can see the gumbo stand from our balcony. If he's the guy that's sitting down there, I guess he looks harmless. Okay, I'll go talk to him.
Thanks, Bess. Let me know what happens.
So I was right, that is him.
Cheerio!
So wondering about that.
Why, hello, young lady. How kind of you to grace an old man with your lovely presence.
Are you Dr. Gilbert Buford?
I'm delighted to report that I am indeed.
Your answering service said I'd probably find you here.
This here is my favorite spot in the whole city. Delicious gumbo, pleasing view.
He's eating
particularly
crawdads.
now, I might add.
My name's Bess Marvin. I'd like to ask you some questions about Bruno Bollet, if that's okay?
I'd prefer subject matter of a happier nature, but I do not want to seem inhospitable, so what is it you want to know?
Is it true that Dr. Bollet was your best friend?
Well, now, I was certainly his best friend, but I cannot honestly say that he was mine. Fact is, while socializing with my fellow man, particularly with pretty young women such as yourself,
Oh, you're a creep.
has always been a source of pleasure for me, Bruno was just the opposite. Unfortunately, the older he got, the more numerous his idiosyncrasies became, and the less concern about their negative effect upon others he became.
His idiosyncrasies didn't bother you?
Now, as a doctor of medicine, I am not only accustomed to dealing with the abnormal, but I find that I am actually drawn to it. I, for one, thoroughly enjoyed Bruno's outlandish personality, although at the same time I fear it may have played a role in his demise. You see, he died of a myocardial infarction, most likely caused by age-related atherosclerosis. Dying of a heart attack is all too common for people who are socially isolated, and Bruno Bollet had most certainly become that.
Okay.
Did they do an autopsy on Dr. Bollet?
No. Given Bruno's advanced age and the absence of any indication of foul play, an autopsy was deemed unnecessary, and the body was cremated according to Bruno's wishes.
Shouldn't they always do a autopsy?
Did Dr. Bollet ever say anything to you about owning a crystal skull?
Why, yes. Yes, he did. In fact, he showed it to me once. Said it had magical powers. Said owning it was going to allow him to live forever. I thought it was utter nonsense and told him so.
Well, he's
he
dead,
didn't
so.
appreciate that at all. Refused to talk to me for a full 2 weeks.
Do you have any idea where he kept it?
No. He was terrified that someone would steal it from him, so he told no one its location. Not even me. Tell me, Miss Bess, What do you know about that crystal skull?
This friend of mine, who is also a friend of Henry Bolet, you know, Dr. Bolet's great-nephew. Anyway, while she was visiting Henry, she saw this book in Bruno's library about the legendary crystal skulls and was kind of intrigued and thought that since Henry said that you were pretty much Bruno's only friend, maybe Bruno had said something to you about it, and as it turns out, he had. That's all I know.
I see. Well, much as I'd like to believe that skull holds the key to immortality, I'm afraid Bruno's passing proves it's worthless. Although it would make an attractive paperweight, as I recall. Tell your friend not to give it another thought.
Where was Dr. Bolet when he
I
had
don't
his
trust this man.
MI?
In the foyer of his house, just inside the front door. In fact, I hadn't seen him for a while, so I picked that day to pay him a visit. I walked up to the front door, found it unlocked as usual, opened it, and there he was, lying on the floor in obvious distress. The next thing I know, his housekeeper came running in and started shrieking and carrying on, until finally I sent her out of the room so she could summon an ambulance, and I could once again hear myself think. Well, let's see. Then I knelt down and saw that he wasn't breathing. So I pulled him away from the doorway so I'd have more room to work on him and began chest compressions. I continued until the medics arrived, but nothing they did made a difference either.
Was Dr. Bolet unconscious the whole time?
Yes, he was.
Can you remember anything that might indicate what he was doing by the front door? I mean, had he just come in from a walk? Was he wearing a hat? Was he holding anything? Had he dropped something? An umbrella? Sunglasses?
Wait a minute. Why, yes, he was holding something. A piece of paper. And on the floor next to him was an envelope. He must have collapsed while reading a letter.
Do you know what happened to it?
Now, I know the letter was no longer in Bruno's hand when the paramedics arrived, so perhaps he released the letter when I moved him. And yet, I do not recall seeing it on the floor when they wheeled him out the door.
So,
Iggy.
What's icky?
Iggy. Iggy is an iguana Bruno befriended.
so I gotta find the iguana.
It soon developed the annoying habit of stealing paper and stockpiling it in the vent system.
Vent system. Need to remember that.
Are you saying an iguana made off with the letter Bruno had been reading?
It would not have been the first time a missing document ended up in Iggy's possession. Renee would periodically call me saying the lizard had absconded with one of Bruno's prescriptions and would I please write her up a replacement. In any case, Bruno once told me he was training Iggy. Said he taught Iggy to retrieve the things it had stolen.
Do you think it's possible that Renee caused Dr. Bolet's death by, say, hoarding the pills from those missing prescriptions and giving them to him all at once?
No. Had he died of an overdose of the medications I had prescribed, the manner of his death would have been quite different. But he died of a heart attack. Of that I am certain. However, I know for a fact that Renee is deeply involved in the practice of hoodoo.
We've seen
And
that.
as Bruno's housekeeper, she had ample opportunity to use it against my poor old friend.
You mean hoodoo really works?
Young lady, never, ever underestimate the power of suggestion. If a person believes in something, even on a subconscious level, fantasy can easily become fact. And
It's
who
almost
knows
like the
what rubbish
placebo
Renee
effect.
filled
You
Bruno's
act like
mind
you're
with. Drink this,
drinking
don't
something,
eat that. This
and you'll end
brings
up
good
drunk.
luck, that brings bad, day in and day out. Even if he said he didn't believe a word of it, who knows how much his subconscious was absorbing? He was very old and vulnerable. So could Renee have caused Bruno to have that fatal heart attack? There's not a doubt in my mind she could indeed.
Thanks for your time.
I've enjoyed our conversation immensely.
Alright, time to call Nancy again. This was 30 minutes worth of conversations.
Hello? Hi, Nance. Okay, here's what's been happening at my end.
30 minutes of conversations.
And that's pretty much it.
Good work. I'll take it from here. Thanks again.
Good luck. Bye.
Alright, we We gotta find something, like, to do. I don't know if moving these are actually something that I should be doing. That looks almost like the same thing, but T... Toothbrush? B, banana. F, fan. M, monkey. L, I don't know, because that's a hat, umbrella, lollipop. H, hat. A, ha! I got it. Okay.
Come on, Summer, give me a break here. You never said anything about that. Well, how was I supposed to know? I mean, what am I, telepathic? No, no, come on, don't get upset. Look, I'll see what I can do, okay? What do you mean, something else? You gotta be kidding me, Summer. I don't have that kind of money. No, no, I mean, I don't have it now, but I will soon, okay? Bye. Oh, man.
This is probably what the spider's blocking. I still don't know how to get to the spider, so how do I leave this? Solve that, solve that. We're supposed to be looking for a vent system too.
Yes?
I'm afraid you're going to be stuck with me for a while.
Let me guess. Because of the big storm that's blowing in. Everyone in the city's freaking out, and you can't get a cab.
Bingo.
Person at the bank told me. Just before she put me on hold for 2 hours. Don't worry. We've got plenty of food here. Beds, candles. You're welcome to stay.
I'll check back with you later.
Awesome.
Okay.
Hello again.
Oh, I have
Did
so
Dr.
much to say to
Boulay ever
you.
say anything to you about a crystal skull? He may have referred to it as the Whisperer.
No, he never so much as mentioned a crystal skull, whispering or otherwise.
Were you in the house when Dr. Boulay passed away?
I was indeed. I was in the library cleaning when all of a sudden I heard a big thump. I hurried out to investigate, and sure enough, there was Dr. Boulay lying by the front door. And as I rushed over to him, the door opened and in walked Gilbert Buford. He took one look at Dr. Boulay and hollered at me to call 911. So I ran back into the library and did just that. When I came back out, Gilbert was leaning over Dr. Bolet, listening for breathing, I suppose, and then he started pushing up and down on his chest, but
I'd rather
it was
have that
too
one.
late. Even I could tell that Dr. Bolet was gone.
Gilbert recalls seeing a letter in Dr. Bolet's hand, as if he had keeled over while reading his mail.
I suppose it's possible. The mail does come about then. But I helped remove the body, and I surely don't recall seeing any letter. In the back of my mind, I have always wondered about Gilbert Buford showing up at the door at that exact moment.
I understand that Dr. Bolet had some interesting pets, like an iguana.
That man never met a creature he didn't like. He'd train them to do all kinds of silly tricks, then let them run free, inside the house as well as out.
Do you know how he went about training them?
I surely do not. Don't get me wrong. I liked Dr. Bolet, I truly did. But I swear, sometimes his activities made as much sense to me as bathing in a bayou full of gators.
I'll leave you to your potting.
Take care, hon.
That really didn't give us anything. Okay. Let's look at the checklist. Explore the passageway.
Check. Can't check that off yet.
Alright, so I gotta go back to the peephole. I don't see how you can turn the peephole.
Did that. Check. All done. All done. Check. All done.
I did a lot,
Did that.
but all I did was talk to people.
Can't check that off yet.
Alright. I don't know if that's anything that I need right now. I know I have the key to it, but let's see here. Because there was something on her wall. Maybe that's that I have yet to use. I feel like I wrote that down. Yeah, I did. Okay. Did that. I don't understand what's up with the doll. sometimes it tells me to look at stuff and I don't know what I'm looking at. It's wanting me to explore the garden more.
One loquat's all I need right now.
Oh yeah, I've already done that. That's a spider. Can't do anything with right now. I remember I did something with this. Like I pushed these in. But I don't remember if we ever found out what that was to. That's charcoal. Yeah, I don't remember. I remember that there was like a fishing spot that we needed to go to. But I don't have anything to fish with right now. I still don't know what to do with this thing. I'm trying to see if any of this rings a bell. The only one is kind of turn a blank eye, but I believe I've done all of this here. If anyone has any suggestions of what I am missing, it's also very dark. I'm looking for a vent system too somewhere because it keeps hinting that the iguana is taking all the papers. But I don't see vents in this house at all. Hello! I hope you're having a great day. Yeah, I can't even turn this thing. Not what I wanted to do.
Locked, naturally.
I was hoping. I don't remember what this key was for. It's been a fun day today. Just casually playing different types of games. Eye of the Beholder. Well, I got an eye. There's so many of those eyes. It's not even allowing me to pick them up either. He probably doesn't have anything to say to me, but
Yes?
yeah.
I'm going to keep looking around.
Sounds good.
Trophies, 1986, 82. There's something rolling in this one.
Did your great uncle by any chance wear a glass eye?
Yep. Wore a glass eye for as long as I can remember. Had a whole collection of them. Liked to wear a different color every day.
Is it like an achievement to find all these eyes or something? Alright, so I have the clock that I need to figure out a time for it. Can I only move one? That makes no sense. Both should move. The only person I haven't talked to in a while is Ned. Maybe he has some advice.
Hi, Nancy.
Hey, Ned.
What's going on?
I overheard Henry talking to someone named Summer. Is that his girlfriend?
If it is, I'm happy for him. He always seems so lonely.
Unfortunately, I got the feeling their relationship is making him more unhappy than happy.
Sorry to hear that. Wait a minute. Were you eavesdropping?
No, I mean, not on purpose. I mean, I was in this secret passageway and I could hear him through the wall. I couldn't help it.
You found a secret passageway?
I'm always finding secret passageways. You know that.
Yeah, I know. Sometimes I think they follow you
Yeah.
around.
Are you familiar with the legend of the so-called crystal skulls?
Is that where aliens supposedly scattered a bunch of perfectly formed crystal skulls all around the world like thousands of years ago? And all the skulls have different magical powers?
Something like that, yeah. Apparently, Henry's uncle was the proud owner of the Whisperer, the skull that was supposed to make whoever owned it live forever.
Only now he's dead and another superstition bites the dust.
Maybe, maybe not. See, this book I found in Bruno's library said no one who has owned the Whisperer has ever died of natural causes.
So how did they die?
They were all murdered.
Come on, you don't believe that crystal skull stuff is true, do you?
Absolutely not.
So far,
But
it's
right
always
now,
been a
what I think doesn't
Scooby-Doo
matter.
case.
The people who knew Bruno
Someone
had the skull.
is
If
always
one of
behind the
them
mask.
believed in the Whisperer's power, they may have figured the only way they'd ever be rid of Bruno was to cause his death.
But didn't he die of a stroke or something?
Heart attack.
Well, there you go. Natural causes.
Heart attacks can be induced.
You've been watching too many of those forensic detective shows.
That may be, but what's really interesting is the skull is missing.
That is interesting.
And I'll bet you anything that's what my bony friend in the red ascot was looking for.
Does Henry know where the skull is?
I haven't gotten around to asking him about it yet. But if that skull is still around here, I intend to find it.
I kind of figured that.
I might
Bruno
end up
Bolet's
asking
doctor,
for a
Gilbert
hint
Buford,
because I
was
am
apparently
walking
Bruno's
around
best
trying to figure
friend
this
as
out.
well.
Think Bruno told him about the skull?
Yes, in fact, Dr. Buford told Bess that Bruno showed it to him once. But apparently he told Bruno the skull was bogus, and Bruno got a little ticked off. Never showed it to him again.
Well, when it comes to murdering someone and making it look like a heart attack, a doctor's got to be right up there when it comes to suspects.
Don't worry, I've been thinking the same thing.
So what else is going on?
Think you could give me a hint?
You bet.
I'd sure like to find the key to the door that's at the end of that secret passageway. Any suggestions?
Take a real good look at the diagram on the door, then head for the fountain outside. When you find something that looks familiar, start plucking. Get the sequence right, and you'll be pleasantly surprised.
How do I know what the right sequence is?
The key is in the dotted lines.
Okay, so I
Great,
gotta look
I
at the
really appreciate
door
it.
and
No
then
big deal. See ya.
I think it's the spider. Okay. Key is in the dotted lines, so let's see here. That's the wrong paper. I'm gonna need to get a new piece of paper for all my writings. One, two, three, four, five, six. There's 8 of those. 1, 2, 4. I need to take this off. There's 5 there. Eight. 1. 3. 6. And then 7. All right, let's go to the garden. Luckily with this game, it's not like Blackmore Manor and has lots of passageways. And typically it saves the passage. I turned too far. I think I messed up. Yeah. Right. Start over. One. This is 2. Where's this one? 1. I even wrote this down. I did not do a very good job of it, though. That is on me. It's because they're, like, crossing over each other, kind of making my brain not want to work. Let's try this again. So 1. 2. 4. 5. Where was 6 again? 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. There. Above 3. That's things where I got it mixed up. Alright, let's try this again. Wrong way. Turn towards the right. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I don't like spiders. It took a little bit to get that one. I had to use that hint from Ned, but it helped. Alright. Let's go open up that passageway. I was honestly expecting a jump scare too. That would fit well with spiders. It should be this key. Earlier, an iguana jumped at me, so it would not surprise me if it was a spider. How do you play? Oh. What am I supposed to do? Get them all to be eyes, maybe? Way too far. I'm hoping it's like a 3 in a row type thing. And I don't have to get them all. too far. No, not what I wanted. Alright, there's 3 in a row, and I did not get it. So I have to get all of them to that eye. That's a pain. It went too far. Alright, I'll come back to this because I don't know if I'm actually doing that correctly. No, I said go back. That's creepy. That's gonna come into place somewhere. Maybe the teeth things. There's a bookcase with teeth. I do agree. That doll looked cursed. Those are highlighted. That's gonna come into play. Why does it have the death day? I don't think anybody records their own death. Especially if it was spontaneous. History of teeth. So this is probably the tooth puzzle. So by dates, and then you go back to that picture probably and figure out where exactly location is. I'll come back to that. These are for the statues outside. At least I think that's the statues. It looks like the statues. There's so much in this book. There's a ripped paper. Alright, look at that.
There must be another way out. Here, Iggy, Iggy, Iggy.
So I found the vent. Do you like
Iggy,
mangoes?
come here, Iggy. Got something for ya.
I had a feeling that would work. I can dress the iguana. That is so cute. Do I have to dress him a certain way for him to give me that paper? I don't know what I'm doing with that either. I wonder if it was in that book. We haven't looked at this yet. I did not like that sound. Come on. I want a jack-in-box. Middle C. Is there a piano I have to play? Oh, I thought that was an eyeball. Okay, where was that book? Oh, I took it. Okay. Maybe the Plentiful Pirates? This is the clock. Let's pretend that it's time to move ahead 2 hours more. But don't I need to know exactly what time it was to begin with? High noon, sheriff stepped into the street. I'm terrible at reading cursive, so it's taken me just a little bit to glance through. It was midnight, dark. Alright, let's try to do the eyes. That's the only one I could really think about. So we got the upper right. Sorry about that. The little fun came through. Alright, so 114, the upper right second molar. For 13, central encaser, then upper left. had so many teeth extracted. Lower right, canine. Upper left, bicuspid. Lower left canine. This might be my last one. I gotta go start cooking dinner here soon. Alright, let's see. So baby teeth, that's your primary teeth. First one he did was upper right. Second molar. So that one. The second thing was center encaser, which is that one. Upper left encaser. Which is the third one, I think. No, that's the canine. Lower left lateral. Lower right canine, which is that third one. And then he started with his adult teeth. How many teeth are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So lower right canine, which is the third one down. Upper left bicuspid. Was it the first or the second one? I think it was the first. Lower left canine. There's only one lower canine. But it's saying, so it might be a 12. Third molar, lower left. Tonight I think I'm probably gonna make some homemade chicken nuggets and jalapeno poppers.
This must be where I'm supposed to put all the glass eyes I've found. Let's see how we're doing.
That's a lot of eyes I need to find. Okay. I was looking for the door. I've lost the door. I felt like we came in through... Because we came in and we stared directly at this thing. So where did we come in at? Like it's not allowing me to leave. Yep, I don't know what's going on. But I have to call this stream. It was really fun having you. But until next time, my name is Nyx. I hope you have a great rest of the day.